Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to say go Wolves since we say school after we do it. Can I get roll call, please?
Mayor Dave Dillon.
Here.
Council members Norris Johnson. Might be here later. Lindsee Larson. Here. Ken Mueller.
Here.
Kim Porker.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Any additions? I have one under Public Works, add number 3, and that is the water tower evaluation. Cost per engineers at KLM is $10,500. So that'd be under Public Works, number 3, water tower evaluation. Anything else anybody has on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda passes. On the consent agenda tonight, approval of minutes from March 24, 2026, approval of bills, and approval of quarterly financial reports. I'll entertain a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second
Any questions on that?
Under the financials, are revenues meeting expectations?
They will usually decline because we only get our settlement in July, our tax settlement. So we rely on our LGA and our tax settlement from December to take us through till June.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, all in favor of the consent agenda indicate with an eye.
it. Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Moving on to open forum, if there's anyone here tonight that would like to address any issue that is not on the agenda at this time. Hearing none, we'll move on to, we don't have a public hearing tonight. Requests and communications. Honoring 20 years of dedicated legal services from our city attorney, Damien Toven.
You, yep.
I gotta
actually get
get this.
Oh, yeah. We're doing it up right.
Where do you want us? Oh, you come, yeah, come up here by the city hall.
Oh, that'll work, right?
Yeah. So the certificate of appreciation is presented to Damien Toven, whereas in recognition of your commitment and expertise as city attorney in serving the Milaca City Council, city Milaca staff, and residents, we greatly appreciate your continued hard work. Therefore, on behalf of the city of Milaca, we honor your 20 years of dedicated service, awarded the 16th day of April, 2026. That also includes your 20-year pin.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you.
We'll see if I can outlast every single one of
I'll beat you.
you. Yeah.
Okay, moving on, we have no ordinances or resolutions tonight. Reports of departments, city manager.
Yeah. I'll give a council update. The Pete Stauber grant has been accepted into the Appropriations Committee for consideration for the Milaca Junction project for 2027. The Empowering Small Cities grant, we received another $8,000, so it's been a total of $13,000 to be used for development or community input and events, you know, that we could have downtown that we've talked about before. And then Gary and Dave have submitted the Blandon grant, and that one can be used for like development of parks and.
Yeah, you'll see a report. Gary put together a little report in there that talks
Yeah.
about it, making Rec Park more inclusive. It would be a better surface instead of the, I don't know if they're now wood chip or whatever it is. And then accessible swings, making a accessible fishing pier down where the dam used to be. Gary had some really good ideas, so cross your fingers, that one moves fast, and we'll know by the end of the month.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get that.
And then the Small Cities Development Program, that application has been submitted for grant for $600,000 for the water tower. So that full application has now been submitted. So I don't have a timeline of when we will hear on these grants. So hopefully within a few months.
Just to add to that, I asked Tammy to mention that tonight because I think it's important to realize that's well over $2 million in grants that we have in the process right now. We may get none, we may get all of them, we may get a portion, you don't know. But you get none if you don't apply. So
Yeah.
the two of them have done a nice job of trying to find sources of money so we can do these projects and help the city along. So I just wanted to recognize that. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Police, just the incident report. Quinn's not here. Public Works, plans and specs and authorized bidding for lead line galvanized water service. You need a motion for that. Can I get that?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
A second.
Second it? Okay, we got a motion and a second.
Okay.
Gary, what do we need to know on that?
So this is just replacing all the lead and galvanized water services. The state of Minnesota is doing a 100% grant for all these, so we have to pay for the cost up front, but then we should be reimbursed sometime in June of this year. Originally, off of records, we thought there was about 98 galvanized water services in town, 0 lead. We inspected those 98 homes, and right now we're at 20, I have 25 on here, but I found another one. There's 5 more that I couldn't get into. I got in one of them today, so we're up to 26 galvanized services to be replaced. Originally, with those 98, this was gonna be a 3-year project, at about $1 million a year. Now that we're down to 26, we're gonna do it all this year and just get it done with. So that's kind of this project in a nutshell, I guess. It should go out to the dates are on there, but it'll go out to bid in, towards the end of May. Just for, making sure people have safe drinking water. Lead is the big, health risk. Galvanized, there's, some quite a bit lesser, health issues that can be associated with that. It's a good deal for those homeowners to get those replaced at no cost. And then the list of addresses is down on the corner there, in case you're wondering if you're on the list. I don't think anybody was.
Will the work be completed then entirely this year?
Yep. And then, actually, another thing to note with this project, we have a 2-inch water main, which is really small for a water main. But it's an old 2-inch water main in the alleyway, just off of Central behind Holiday gas station. And it's 4 blocks long. And we got that approved under this project to be replaced, so that'll be increased to a 4-inch water main and replaced, so that'll be.
That helps.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Gary? If not, all in favor of the specs for the lead and galvanized water service indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So the plans and specs for that passes. Second one, 2026 seal coating project quotes from Pearson and Allied Blacktop. Can I get a motion and second on that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
So the section for seal coating this year is a good chunk of the northwest. We have $50,000 in the budget for seal coating. Of the companies I reached out to, 2 of them were interested and gave us a quote. Pearson was at $60,680 and Allied was at $66,010. So if we went with Pearson, the cheaper of the 2, it should be $10,680 over budget. although there is with some of the CIP item, we purchased that plow truck now, there's 30,000 left in the budget that didn't get used with that, so there's still some cushion there. Still want to do this.
Do we sweep that after, or do they come back and sweep it?
They come back and sweep it. And then they take their tubes with them.
What do you think that buys additional years? Like 5?
I ask Bill that all the time, and, yeah, if you do it, if you run a good rotation with it, you do it every 6 to 7 years, then, instead of the road giving you 20 years, maybe you get 30 years out of it.
Okay.
He said before they're seal coated, we patch potholes all over, but specifically the areas that are going to get seal coated, we make sure to do the cracks going across, and that just helps water from penetrating and then freezing and pushing up the road and making the cracks bigger. So.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions on that? So the motion is for Pearson. That's what you're good with, Gary?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor of that indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So the seal coating quote from Pearson is approved. Number 3 was the one we added, the water tower evaluation. The cost per engineers at KLM is $10,500. And that was recommended by, who was it that recommended it again? Not the engineers, was it?
Project?
No, the inspection.
Both KLM and, so we're working with Stantec and KLM on this project. Stantec's obviously our engineer, but KLM's really they only do water towers, so it's kind of who you use when you're doing a water tower project. And we have a contract with them, they inspect every time there's an antenna put up or switched out on the tower, things like that. And then, it's every 5 to 6 years you get your water tower inspected, where they put a little, now they use a remote control, submarine type deal, and take pictures of all the condition and give you evaluation report. This would include that, and then also, this is just the cost for their spec package that you need to have to go out for bid when it gets to that point. And the last time we had an evaluation was in 2021. So they said in order to get accurate bids and give the bidders accurate information, we have to do a new eval. We have the water tower budgeted for 2027, or in the budget, we're applying for different types of funding for that. But they said in order to keep the project on track, this is something we need to get going now.
Okay.
Is this the first time we've, are gonna be reconditioning that reservoir?
That's a good question. That tower,
It is.
since it got rebuilt, I think that, if I had to guess, I'd say maybe 25 years ago or so, the bottom of that bowl broke out because of the ice shelf. There was a water main break underneath the tower, and then the ice shelf dropped in the winter and broke the bottom of the bowl out, and so they had to redo a lot with the tower then, and so it was done then, but yeah, it's been 25, 30 years, and they say out of painting a tower that's about the lifespan you get. We originally looked at it back closer to 2020, 2021, and at that time, they said, you still have a few more years left on it, and we wanted to wait till the water plant was off of our
Debt schedule.
debt schedule.
Mhm.
Is that reservoir coated on the inside?
Yep, so
It
this includes painting on the outside, you're sandblasting inside and out, and then painting inside and out.
Will there be any interruption in water service when they're working on it?
There won't be, so, the water plant, we can just switch different modes out there, so the pumps there will stay running to keep pressure in town.
It'll still be less pressure. Because when the water tower was the main broke, we only had 20 pounds of pressure.
Well, now it should be better, because we have VFDs out there,
Okay, so we put different pumps in over the plant, okay.
Oh, yeah, in 2023, we did a clean down of the water tower, so in October of '23, we actually drained the whole tower, and it was out of service for 2 weeks. Well, KLM, they brought a pressure washer in there and sprayed, there was a bunch of paint chips and just because it's old, and you wash all that down and then disinfect it and fill it back up, but for 2 weeks it was down, and our normal pressure is about 60 pounds, so we can set the plant to maintain 60 pounds, and then maybe on 5 hydrants around town, we put like a pressure relief valve, so you maintain that higher pressure, and if it were to get too high, it just opens up and flows water out of these hydrants. So, yeah, it worked well, and that was a good test anyways, because this will be, painting the tower, it'll be down for at least a month.
I noticed in the document that it says the city would be responsible for any site damage that might happen there. Is that customary?
I can look into that. I guess I'm not sure what they mean by site damage. I would assume that they use most of the same verbiage for all the towers they do, but I can ask them about that. Because I have heard of other, if there's paint drift in the wind, so when they're spraying up there, there's been instances across the state where the wind is blowing and somebody's car gets painted inadvertently, blocks away, and the tower company has always been responsible. Whoever's painting it has been responsible for that. I can definitely ask them.
Right, I didn't get one yet.
Okay.
Can I get a motion? We jumped right into it there.
I'll make a motion.
What amount are we going with? You
10,500.
Isn't it 14.5?
So that's what was originally in your packet as of earlier today. Because Phil and I met with KLM last week, and verbally he told me he thought it was going to be 10,500. And then when they sent their proposal, it was 14.5. So I asked him what's the discrepancy here, and then he just emailed me late this afternoon and said we can do it for 10.5 because that's what I told you. So,
Are you including the additional fees, the additional $800 that's below? The lead or chromium testing
no, I didn't. No.
or the wet access manway?
No, if
not-
that gasket needs to be replaced.
We don't need-
when they're up there, we'll need to go over it.
Just those are things that we don't need? Yeah. Okay.
So I've got Tim.
So 10.5?
10.5.
I'll second.
Okay. Any other questions for Gary on that? When did you say that? Well, it's in here, I guess. I can look. All right, hearing none.
One more comment, I guess
yep.
I should mention. I don't want to start, this will probably turn into a big discussion, but eventually, the council should decide on the route we want to take for painting the water tower, like logo, colors. Yep, that's what I got so far. If we do something simple like Milaca, and maybe it's not as many colors as that logo behind you, maybe be 30 to 40,000, but then you see other towers that are like a mural that can be $100,000. So there's a big range there, but discussions we can have over the next year
Oh.
anyways.
Okay, well, it's good to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Otherwise, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
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 Opposed? So the water tower evaluation passes. I think that's it, Gary, unless you got something else?
That's it for both.
Okay. Liquor store Vicky isn't here, but I noticed the ad went up today for their,
Yeah, for the
Anniversary. Yeah. I'm sure she'll be in to talk about that.
At some point.
Yeah. Yep. All right, fire department, did you have anything, Jesse?
We are full staff at the moment,
Great.
so that's kind of nice.
Mhm.
We just found a rescue truck that we're gonna go check out, and so we'll see how that pans out, if that's something to pursue further or not, but it's definitely an upgrade to what we have, and it's really nice truck, so.
Where is it at, Jesse?
On the other side of the Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. It's a, do they have a price on it? that
It's
they-
on that auction, right now,
Oh, okay.
so, yeah. It's like 2 weeks out, so.
Oh, it is, okay.
Okay. All right, planning and zoning, we don't have anything. Airport, the MnDOT grant agreement, number 1061954, taxiway improvements, phase 3. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion for that.
A second?
Tim,
Okay.
Any questions on that? Those are pretty much the same thing we always do with them.
Yep.
If no questions, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? So the MnDOT agreement passes. No unfinished business. New business, special event, Milaca Rec Fest. Can I get a motion for that?
make a motion.
I'll second
Okay. Any questions on their application? If not, all in favor indicate with an eye.
it. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Breakfast special event passes. Next one, Milaca Meets Memorial Weekend Rib Fest. Need a motion for that one.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
And that'll be run the same time we're doing the liquor store.
Yes.
You're right, okay. So it should be a good,
Should be good.
active place out there.
Yeah.
Okay, if nothing, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Milaca Meets Rib Fest passes. Next one, special event, Family Fun Day, the American Legion Auxiliary. Need a motion for that?
I'll make a motion for that.
Any questions on that one? I got out of being in the dunk tank on that one thing. My nephew's wedding out in New York, so
Oh, there you
I'm
go.
off the hook. If nothing else, all in favor of the Legion Auxiliary Fun Day indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That one passes. Special event, Milaca High School Tractor Day. Get a motion for that?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
I'll second that.
Any questions on that? Same as they've always done, they're just trying to make it a little safer. All in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, Tractor Day passes. Another special event, Milaca ECFE Kitty Parade. Need a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Any questions on that? We'll talk about the parade in May,
In May.
okay? All right, hearing nothing, all in favor of the Kitty Parade indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Kitty Parade passes. We have no miscellaneous. That was a good batch of special events. That's good to see. We are at council comments. Lindsay?
I have nothing tonight.
Tim?
Oh, congratulations,
Hold on.
Damien.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, you can go, Ken.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's been good working with Damien. I like his work. So,
Thank you much, appreciate it.
okay.
Me too, big
Yeah, I
time.
agree. Tim?
That final house up on 3rd Avenue Northeast is under construction, so that'll be the last one of the 4
Wow,
up there by East Central.
those went pretty fast.
Yeah. Yep, they're all occupied and looking good.
Yeah, you did a nice job.
Yeah. Any updates on the project over by, just on the west side of Hagee's there, you know, that big property? There were
Oh,
gonna
you're
be some
talking about
apartments.
the Worth properties?
Yeah,
Nothing at this time. Yeah.
okay. That's all I have.
Okay. I just had a quick update. I got a hold of Sam Johnson today just to kind of fill me on where we're at on the Milaca Junction activity there. He's got some conversations going with some people. Their main concern is they'd like to see the road in before they make a commitment. So Tammy and I have been looking at some ways, obviously that one grant would be a big way. Sam has another idea that he's gonna run by a couple of the guys that do the road to see if they'd be willing to kind of work with us a little. So that seems to be the biggest thing to get things moving along. But there are conversations going and there are people interested. Kids at school keep telling me they want a Taco Bell or whatever, and I keep telling them, they'll come, we need a franchise, we need a franchise owner or franchisee, so trying to get the word out in case someone wants to own a small business, call us.
Yeah.
But that's it. He was encouraged. He thought, spring things are going to get moving. Doesn't help with the economy kind of being weird, but hopefully it'll be moving here pretty soon. That's all I have.
Okay.
If nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.